Hello to my fellow readers. I decided to make another video because I was inspired to create my own original book tag. Now originally I was going to do a Gallivant one, but that one has proven a little bit more challenging to come up with the questions for that one, so I will come back to that one and try again later. But this is called the What If book tag, and is basically a series of what if scenarios. Like, what if this happened? What would you do? How would you react? What would you choose? Those kind of questions. Now, unfortunately, I wrote a rough draft of this, so hopefully I can read my own handwriting. Okay, so the first question is, what if you got sucked into a book world? Which one would you want to become part of? And because I'm kind of on an ACOTAR Sarah J. Maas high right now, I said ACOTAR because, and I kind of like that one a little bit better than Throne of Glass, but I still love Throne of Glass. But I'm kind of more into ACOTAR, that whole ACOTAR series. So I said ACOTAR, but I would have to be a fairy because I don't think as a human I would survive. There are too many creatures that might eat me, or, I could easily get manipulated, and I could get hurt more easily, so I think I would have to be a fairy, not a human. Because as a human, I just don't think I could survive in that world. Okay, question number 2. What if a character from a book was into you romantically? Who would you want it to be? Okay, again, I'm kind of obsessed with the ACOTAR series. I was trying to come up with a different one because I have a lot of book characters that would love to be into me romantically. But I, of course, chose an ACOTAR character, and I chose Rhysand. I mean, normally I try to avoid that because I feel, even though it's fiction, I feel a little bad for the girl who is the girl who's with that guy. When I crush on him, I always feel a little bit guilty because I don't want that girl to get hurt or anything. But if that girl didn't exist, then I would ship myself with that guy. But which will never happen. But at least in my little imagination, maybe that could probably happen. But who wouldn't say Rhysand for who they wish would be into them romantically? I mean, of course, there are a lot of guys on that, but I mean, Lucian is another guy I would choose. But Rhysand is my number one. So Rhysand, I would love for him to be into me romantically. So, okay, so question number 3. Okay, this is the one that this is the one I kind of changed the question. What if you could prevent a character from doing something stupid, a stupid thing that they did in the book? Which character and which stupid thing would it be? And again, I'm on a Sarah J. Maas kick, so I said Chaol, from doing what he did in Crown of Midnight and not telling Selena about it, aka Aelin, spoiler alert. Because I think that would have, if he hadn't done that stupid thing, and if you read the books, you all know what stupid thing I'm talking about, then maybe it could have worked out and my ship wouldn't have died. Because I like Selena and Rowan as friends. It's funny, Sarah J. Maas's books is one of the few times where I'm like, I can understand where people are like, why can't guys and girls just be friends? So, but in this case, I would rather Selena just be friends with Rowan and be with Chaol. You would think that if you know me, which those of you on BookTube don't know me, but my friends would know me, that you would think I would choose Dorian, because he's kind of is a little bit, he's into a lot of things I'm into, but I'm definitely Team Chaol. And if he hadn't done that stupid things he did in Crown of Midnight, then Selena and Chaol could have a potential relation. They could still be together. So that's the stupid thing I would prevent, and that's the character I would prevent from doing that stupid thing. Okay. Question number 4. What if you could get rid of a character from a book? Obviously, which character would you get rid of? I would say I was trying to step away from Sarah J. Maas books because there are some characters in Sarah J. Maas books I would love to get rid of, but I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. So I chose Mr. Collins from Pride and Prejudice. It's like, okay, Elizabeth already has two guys fighting over her. Of course, the one guy, he wasn't really as into her as we thought. He was a bit of a player. But we don't need her to have more annoying. But Mr. Collins was so annoying. I mean, I know he was funny and everything, so he was comic relief. And I'm from the look of the movie Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, he looks a little even more funnier. But I would get rid of his character. He was so annoying in the books. And Lizzie doesn't need any more guys fighting over her. Especially guys that she's not interested in at all. At least the other two guys except for Mr. Darcy, at first she wasn't interested in him. She thought he was an arrogant jerk, but just Mr. Collins, he needs to go. He's like, I just want to be like, go, bye-bye. You don't need to be here. You don't need to be wanting to marry Lizzie too. And just, he's a character I would get rid of. Okay, question number 5. What if you could turn one of your favorite books into a screen adaptation? Obviously ones that aren't already screen adaptations. And I said screen adaptations because I like both movie and TV show adaptations, although I lean more towards TV, and I'll explain why in the next question. But, which one would you choose? Originally, I was going to say Kate Warren book because I love those books, and, I feel like Kate Warren doesn't get any love on BookTube, although, I've seen, in the background, I've seen people's libraries have Kate Warren's books, but I was kind of thinking of this book. This book was on my mind, so I said The Night Circus. I think The Night Circus could be a great movie or TV show. You could have. It's so whimsical and magical, and already when you read the book, you can already picture it appearing before you and it would just, you can have so much, a movie, a director, and the actors and directors and the screenwriter would have so much fun adapting this into a movie or a TV show, and it would be so much fun. And it not only is it, this whimsical, fantastical story, but it also is historical fiction, so it's one of my favorite, and historical fiction is my second favorite genre. So I think it would just be so, fun to, adapt. And it will be just to have it there on screen, and to have people playing the parts, not just having them described in books and picturing them in your head, but you actually would have an actor portraying it. And if it's a TV show, you can expand on the circus and expand on the Night Circus, and you could each episode could be devoted to the different bits and pieces of the plot. I prefer TV show versions because they can expand and add on to it and change things in the books that people didn't really like. Some people had issue with the character of, I can't remember his name, but the main male character. They had issues, so you could adjust his character just a little bit to make it more appealing to audiences. Of course, the author might not like that, so maybe not. But and some of the fans might not like that either. But you could do so much, especially with a TV show version. But even a movie would be incredible. Just because there's so much you could do, so much you could bring to life. The circus itself, with all the with all the sights and sounds and smells, and and then, like I said, it's historical, so it would be any historical costume dramas are awesome to me. Okay, this is the last question. What if you could take the already made screen adaptation, like if it already has a movie or a TV show version, and make it better? And I said Harry Potter because, I love the movies. Don't get me wrong. The movies are great. The movies are awesome. And like they expand the world. But with a TV show adaptation, you could like really elaborate and expand it, and add things that you couldn't add in the movie, because most movies have to be like 2 hours long at the most. So if you turn it into a TV show, you could take all those things that you couldn't include in the movie, include them in the book, and expand. You could do flashbacks. You could elaborate on the flashbacks of Harry's parents and their friends, and I essentially think you can do so much more with a TV show, and you could really do more, like elaborate more on the story with a television show rather than a movie, because with a movie, like, again, you only have most of the longer movies are like 2 hours at the longest. I mean, with the exception of like Peter Jackson and Cameron, and James Cameron's movies, they're kind of 3 hours long, but most movies are 2 hours at the longest. So I think Harry Potter would have made a great TV show. So that is the What If book tag, and I hope people do it. And if not, and I am okay if you don't. If this doesn't progress to anything, then I'm okay with that. It was just something fun that I wanted to do, and I was inspired to create one. And hopefully I will do the Gallivant tag, but that, like I said, that one is a little more challenging because having to decide which aspects and characters to use, and I don't want it to be super long, so. But hopefully, I really hope you guys do this tag and enjoy it. And thank you for listening. Goodbye.